Hello, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're just going to carry on from the previous video whereby we were sketching parabolic or quadratic graphs. Okay, so look at the previous one that we sketched. I just didn't include the name of the function. I think it's best that you just complete your work and even give it the name and maybe even the equation of that function that you were given. Minus is 2x squared minus 4x minus 6, and then just name also the xy plane. Okay, and then you are done. I think you'll have given all the information that they need. But nonetheless, now let's look at a situation whereby we are given pretty much the same graph, but in this the equation is given in this format, or we're given the function with a different format of the equation. So if it's given like this, okay, the second format, and then there's a third format, we look at sketching it again. It's quite easy to sketch. You can see that this is basically what can I say, this is basically f of x equals to a into x minus p all squared minus q. Okay, so your a is 2, which is positive, then this is still facing up, and then your turning point, you can have the coordinates directly from the equation. That is a +1 and -8. You just change the sign of this to get to the sign of p, I mean the x value of the turning point, and then you take the y value of the turning point as that -8 without changing the sign. I hope that is clear. So the turning point in this case, it's going to be +1 and -8. Okay, and then what else do you need? You need the intercepts. Okay, so for the x-intercept, or let's start with the y-intercept maybe. Okay, I think it's easier to start with the x-intercept because it's quite faster to, is it? Which one is faster to get? The y-intercept maybe, but it doesn't matter, you can get them all. So I just wanted to start with the simplest one to get. For the y-intercept, you let x equals to 0. That means y equals to 2x minus 1 all squared minus 8. You're going to just substitute x by 0 there, all squared minus 8. Okay, and then from there you can just put everything on the calculator without wasting your time, and then tell us what the value is here. So the value is going to be -6. Therefore the y-intercept is 0 and -6, as you can see. And then for the same function, you can try to get the x-intercept. Just gonna take that and move it somewhere here. By trying to get the x-intercept, you let y equals to 0. That means 0 is going to be equals to 2 into x minus 1 all squared minus 8. Okay, so after that, now we just need to multiply out so that we can solve for x. 2x minus 1, x minus 1. We just expand the brackets basically, and then the 2 we keep it there. We multiply out the brackets. X squared, x times x is x squared, x times -1 is minus x again, because -1 times x, that is minus x. Then -1 times -1, that is +1, and then the 8 remains that. Then 2 still out. We simplify inside the brackets. We have -2x plus 1 minus 8, and then we are here now. We can multiply out with the 2x squared minus 4x plus 2 minus 8. Then we have what we have. Now, what do we have? 2x squared minus 4x, 2 minus 8, that is -6. So we are here. So one thing to point out is that you were not supposed to make the mistake of thinking that the -8 is your y-intercept from the given equation, because that is not the case. Only now you can tell that this -6 is the y-intercept when it's written in this format. Okay, so you would have probably made the mistake of thinking that this -8 here is the y-intercept, but you needed to multiply out and then that's when you will see what the y-intercept is, which is this -6 in this case. Okay, after that, now you just need to still maybe divide by 2 throughout, x squared minus 2x minus 3, and then you have that. Now you can just x plus 1 x minus 3 factorize. You don't know the factors, use the quadratic formula, and then you can pretend as if you know them, but don't just pretend or do guesswork. There's no lotto here. So x plus 1 is equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. Therefore, x equals to 3, or x equals to -1. So those are your x-intercepts, which is -1 and 0, or 3 and 0. Okay. So now that we have the two x-intercepts, we have the y-intercept, we also have our turning point. I think we can work on sketching what we need to sketch, and then we are done. So we're basically just going to still draw the same graph. I hope you see that the graph is basically going to be the same as this one, which I drew in the previous video, guys. So if you haven't seen the previous video, hey, you can go back to it and see how I produced this, because with this information we are still going to produce the same graph. So I'm not gonna draw it again here. Sorry to disappoint you if I am. Okay, the third type of a function or a format of the same, is it function or equation? It's an equation actually. So the third type of this equation, or the format of the equation, because it's of the same type of a function, so it's just a format of the equation of the same function. It can be given in this way, and if it's given in this way, you already know that the a is still the +2, so this is going to face up again, and then in brackets you have the x and the x-intercepts basically. So here it's given what the x-intercepts are, this -1 and 0, and then you also have +3 and 0, which is basically the same x-intercepts as you can see here that we just found. And then for the y-intercept, you just let x equal to 0. So you're going to have y equals to 2 into 0 plus 1, not all squared, what am I doing? And then you have 0 minus 3. You see that? So in the very same equation, just substitute x by 0, and then you'll have this y equals to, now just work everything out. You can put everything on a calculator. You'll get that your y is supposed to be equals to pretty much the same y as that one, because this is going to be 2, 1, -3, that is -6. That is your y-intercept. Therefore, the y-intercept, because remember the y and the x-intercepts, they are actually coordinates. Those are points. You must write them as points. So with the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate, the x-coordinate is 0, the y-coordinate is 6. We call them a pair of coordinates, or a point. So you can see you have the y-intercept, the x-intercept. What else do you need? You need a turning point. You need a turning point, because we are still dealing with a parabolic or quadratic function. So for the turning point, what do we do? Now for turning point, remember, we can use that equation of x equals to minus b over 2a. But as you can see, the way the equation is, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to tell what b is, what a is. So you're going to convert this equation from the format that it is in by multiplying out, so that you can see the initial format that we started with, this format. Okay, and then you'll know what your a is, what your b is, what your c is. Then you can maybe, you just basically need the a and b in this case even. Okay, so let's look at this 2 into x plus 1, x minus 3. So let's multiply out. This is going to be equal to 2 into x times x is x squared, x times -3, that's -3x, x times 1 is positive x, and 1 times -3, that's -3. So we're going to have 2 into x squared minus 3 and plus 1, that is 1 minus 3, which is minus 2x, I think, and then minus 3 remains alone. So we have that multiplied by 2 throughout 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. You can see now we are back to the original equation that we started with. Okay, so when we have this, now we can tell or no for the turning point. Yeah, my handwriting can be a mess sometimes. Okay, for the turning point, the x value of the turning point is minus b over 2a. And you know what your b is? Your b is that negative 4, and then your a is positive 2. Okay, substitution minus negative 4 over 2 into the a, which is 2. And we have positive 1 again. So the y value again, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the initial format. When we're calculating the turning point, we substitute x by 1. We have 2 into 1 squared minus 4, 1 minus 6. What is that? That is, okay, 2 minus 4, and then minus 6. Okay, put everything on this. You were getting that negative 8 there. Okay, I hope that is what you are getting. 2 minus 4, that is negative 2. Negative 2 minus negative 6, that is negative 8. I hope you see that. So you now have the turning point. Therefore, turning point is turning point is what? Turning point is 1 and negative 8. Then we are done. So we have all the information that we need now. We have the turning point, we have the x and the y intercept, and that's basically all the information you need to sketch a parabolic graph. So you can come back to sketching again because that's the same information. So I did the sketch in the first video. I did go through all the steps of drawing it. So you go back to watch the first video of this series, and then you tell me if maybe you have a problem again with sketching. Then we can try to attend to that specifically. For now, see you in the next video, whereby we are going to be sketching the graph of is it hyperbola. Yeah, see you there.